This will make men treat you like a queen, but not because you ask for it, because you embody it. What if the secret to being honored, respected, and cherished wasn't in demanding attention, but in radiating a self-worth so strong the world has no choice but to respond in kind? Maybe the way others treat you is simply mirroring how deeply you value yourself. Because when a woman stops chasing approval and begins embracing her inner power, the energy around her shifts. She no longer begs to be seen, she is recognized. She no longer seeks validation, she embodies value. Welcome to Stoic Today, where transformation begins not with noise, but with inner clarity and unwavering purpose. Before you go any further, take one powerful step toward your growth. Click that subscribe button, leave a comment from the heart, and allow this message to activate a deeper awareness of who you are and what you deserve. Thank you for showing up. Your time is not just appreciated, it's honored. And everything we create here is designed to reflect that. Now, let's go deeper. Continue listening to the empowering content below and stay committed to the journey. Whatever your challenge may be, you have the strength to overcome it, and on the other side awaits the wealth, success, happiness, and fulfillment you were born to claim. Your next chapter begins now. Own it. This will make men treat you like a. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a difference between a woman and a queen. A woman exists, but a queen is recognized, honored, and cherished. A queen does not demand to be treated well. She commands it by how she carries herself, how she thinks, and what she allows into her life. If you want men to treat you like a queen, you must first understand what it means to be one. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. A queen knows her worth. She does not need a man to tell her that she is valuable. She walks in that truth every single day. She refuses to settle for breadcrumbs of attention, cheap words, or half-hearted love. When a woman knows her worth, she refuses to entertain anything less than God's best for her. A man cannot treat you like a queen if you act like a servant to his whims. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. You must first honor yourself before expecting others to honor you. You must set high standards. If you lower your standards just to keep a man, you will spend your life being treated as an option instead of a priority. Men do not rise to mediocrity. They rise to meet the challenge of a woman who demands more. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. Not by words, not by threats, but by her very essence. A queen does not beg to be chosen. She positions herself to be valued. Confidence is the language of royalty. When you walk into a room, do you carry yourself with grace and strength? Do you speak with clarity, with intelligence, with authority? Men respect what they cannot easily shake. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. A woman who knows who she is will always be a mystery that men seek to understand. A queen does not shrink to make others comfortable. She expands, and the right people make space for her. A true queen is not just confident, she is strong. Strength is not aggression, it is self-control. It is the ability to walk away from anything that compromises your dignity. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. It is the ability to stand firm in faith, wisdom, and purpose. Men do not cherish women who are desperate for attention. They honor those who walk with a sense of divine assignment. A woman who is secure in her calling is irresistible to a man of vision. Your femininity is your power, not your weakness. The world tells women to be tough like men. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. But a queen understands that her strength is in her grace, her kindness, her ability to nurture and inspire. A woman who balances softness with strength commands deep respect. Men protect what they value and they value what they respect. Never tolerate disrespect.
Whatever you permit in your life will continue. If a man disrespects you once and you accept it, he will do it again. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. A queen does not beg for loyalty. She commands it by how she responds. If a man sees that you have non-negotiable boundaries, he will either honor them or leave. And let me tell you something. The wrong man leaving your life is not a loss. It is a gain. Lastly, be a woman of purpose. Do not sit around waiting for a man to validate you. Chase after your vision. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. Build your dreams, grow in your faith, and become the best version of yourself. When a woman is fully alive in her purpose, she is magnetic. She does not need to chase men because the right man will recognize her value and pursue her with honor. You don't need to ask a man to treat you like a queen. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. Just become one. The way you live, think, and carry yourself will determine how the world treats you. A queen never lowers her crown to fit in. She stands tall, and the right king will recognize her. A woman who understands her worth moves differently. She does not seek validation from the world because she is already validated within. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She does not allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent decisions. She knows that her value is not determined by a relationship, a title, or the opinions of others. Her worth is intrinsic, woven into her very existence, and no external force can take it away. When a woman knows her worth, she stops settling for less than what she deserves. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She does not chase love, attention, or approval. Instead, she attracts respect by the way she carries herself. She does not beg for time or affection because she understands that what is truly meant for her will come with honor. She refuses to be an afterthought in a man's life because she sees herself as a priority. A woman who knows her worth never compromises her dignity for temporary companionship. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She sets standards, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. She understands that love should never come at the cost of her peace, her self-respect, or her values. She does not allow mistreatment, manipulation, or inconsistency to define her experience with relationships. Instead, she walks away from anything that does not align with her purpose and growth. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She understands that rejection is not a reflection of her worth, but a redirection to something greater. Her presence commands respect because she does not tolerate anything less. She invests in herself, in her growth, and in her purpose. She surrounds herself with people who uplift her and situations that align with her destiny. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She refuses to shrink to fit into spaces that do not celebrate her. She moves with grace, confidence, and an unwavering sense of self because she understands that her worth is not up for negotiation. A woman who sets high standards does not do so out of pride or arrogance, but out of deep self-respect. She understands that the way she allows herself to be treated is a reflection of what she believes she deserves. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She does not lower her expectations to accommodate mediocrity because she knows that compromising her values for temporary companionship will cost her more in the long run. Men rise or fall to the level of a woman's standards. When she demands respect, honor, and consistency, the right man will step up to meet them, while the wrong man will walk away. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She is not afraid of losing people who cannot meet the standards she has set, because she knows that true love does not require her sacrifice, her self-worth. She would rather stand alone in dignity than be surrounded by people who do not value her. She does not entertain inconsistency, dishonesty, or half-hearted love. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She refuses to settle for breadcrumbs of attention or affection given only when it is convenient for someone else. She does not beg to be chosen, nor does she tolerate relationships built on empty promises. She understands that love is demonstrated through actions, not just words, and she expects to be treated with the same level of respect and care that she gives to others. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. Her standards are not just about relationships, but about every aspect of her life. She is intentional about the company she keeps, the opportunities she pursues, and the way she invests in herself. She does not allow fear, loneliness, or impatience to lower her expectations. She walks with confidence, knowing that her standards do not push the right people away. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. They attract them. A woman who carries herself with confidence does not need to announce her worth. Her presence speaks for itself. Confidence is not about arrogance or seeking attention. It is about an unshakable belief in oneself. She walks into a room knowing that she belongs there, not because she demands approval, but because she understands her own value. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. Her posture, her tone, and her demeanor reflect a deep sense of self-assurance that commands respect. Confidence is seen in the way she speaks. She does not hesitate to express her thoughts, knowing that her voice matters. She does not shrink in the presence of others, nor does she allow fear to silence her. She communicates with clarity, purpose, and wisdom, never feeling the need to prove herself through loudness or aggression. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She understands that true power lies in composure, in the ability to remain calm and assured even in the face of adversity. She carries herself with grace, moving with a quiet strength that draws people toward her. She does not seek validation through external appearances, but she takes care of herself because she respects who she is. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. The way she dresses, the way she walks, and the way she engages with others all reflect an inner confidence that cannot be faked. She does not conform to trends just to fit in. She sets her own standard of elegance and poise. A confident woman does not compare herself to others. She understands that uniqueness is her strength. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She does not compete for attention, nor does she measure her worth against someone else's achievements. She is secure in her own journey, focused on growth, and unwavering in her belief that she deserves to be treated with honor and dignity. A woman with inner strength is unshakable. She does not crumble under pressure, nor does she allow life's difficulties to define her. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. Her strength is not loud or forceful. It is a quiet resilience that allows her to rise no matter how many times she falls. She understands that challenges are not meant to break her, but to build her, shaping her into the woman she is destined to be. She does not seek strength in external things. Her confidence does not come from material possessions, relationships, or public approval. It comes from within. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. Deep understanding that she is enough just as she is. She does not allow circumstances to dictate her worth, nor does she let setbacks convince her that she is defeated. When life pushes her down, she stands back up with wisdom and grace, knowing that her struggles are temporary but her strength is eternal. A strong woman is disciplined. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She controls her emotions rather than letting them control her. She does not react impulsively to negativity or allow anger to dictate her decisions. She knows when to speak and when to remain silent. She does not let criticism shake her confidence because she understands that other people's opinions do not define her. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction when you walk like a queen. The world rises to meet your grace. She chooses peace over drama, wisdom over recklessness, and patience over desperation. She is not easily swayed by manipulation or empty promises. She does not allow fear to make her settle for less than she deserves. She knows that walking away from what does not serve her is not a loss but a victory. She is rooted in faith, purpose, and self-respect. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction when you walk like a queen. The world rises to meet your grace. No matter what life throws at her, she stands firm, unwavering, and unbreakable because her strength comes from within. A woman who embraces her femininity with strength understands that true power is not found in becoming like a man, but in fully owning who she is. She does not see her softness as weakness, but as a gift that, when balanced with inner strength, makes her unstoppable. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction when you walk like a queen. The world rises to meet your grace. She moves with grace, speaks with wisdom, and carries an aura of confidence that commands respect. She does not feel the need to prove her worth through aggression or dominance. Her presence alone is enough. She knows when to be gentle and when to be firm. Her kindness is not a sign of naivety, but a reflection of her wisdom. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction when you walk like a queen. The world rises to meet your grace. She chooses her battles carefully, understanding that not every situation requires a reaction. She knows that silence can be more powerful than words, and that walking away can be the greatest display of self-respect. Her strength is in her ability to remain composed under pressure, to uplift others without losing herself, and to love without losing her standard. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction when you walk like a queen. The world rises to meet your grace. She values her nurturing spirit, but does not allow it to be taken for granted. She is caring, but she is not a doormat. She gives, but she does not allow herself to be drained. She understands that true femininity is about balance, offering warmth while maintaining boundaries, showing love while expecting respect, and being compassionate without tolerating mistreatment. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction when you walk like a queen. The world rises to meet your grace. Her femininity is not about appearance alone. It is about the way she carries herself. She moves with elegance, dignity, and self-assurance. She does not need to chase love, attention, or validation. She acts it by simply being herself. A woman who embraces her femininity with strength is one who cannot be ignored because she embodies the perfect balance of grace and power. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction when you walk like a queen. The world rises to meet your grace. A woman who refuses to tolerate disrespect commands honor wherever she goes. She understands that people will only treat her the way she allows them to, so she does not permit anything that undermines her dignity. She knows that tolerating even the smallest form of disrespect opens the door for more, so she sets firm boundaries from the beginning. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction when you walk like a queen. The world rises to meet your grace. She does not make excuses for bad behavior, nor does she stay silent when she is treated unfairly. She does not beg for respect. It is a requirement, not a request. If a man is inconsistent, dismissive, or manipulative, she does not justify his actions or hope that he will change. She recognizes red flags early and walks away without hesitation. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction when you walk like a queen. The world rises to meet your grace. She does not fear being alone because she understands that loneliness is better than being in a relationship where she is not valued. She would rather wait for the right man than settle for one who does not honor her. Even her strength is in her ability to say no. No to mistreatment, no to toxic relationships, and no to anything that makes her feel unworthy. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction when you walk like a queen. The world rises to meet your grace. She does not allow her emotions to override her self-respect. If someone continues to cross her boundaries, she does not argue or beg for change. She simply removes herself from the situation. She understands that self-respect is more valuable than temporary companionship. She surrounds herself with people who uplift and appreciate her. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction when you walk like a queen. The world rises to meet your grace. She invests her time and energy in relationships that are built on mutual respect. She does not tolerate disrespect in any form, whether in words, actions, or attitudes. She carries herself with the confidence of a woman who knows her worth, and because of that, the world has no choice but to treat her accordingly. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. A woman of purpose does not wait for life to happen to her. She takes charge of her destiny. She understands that she was created for more than just existing. She was designed with a vision, a calling, and a unique contribution to make in the world. She does not waste time chasing validation or meaningless distractions because she is too focused on fulfilling her purpose. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She wakes up every day with intention. Her goals are clear, her mind is focused, and her energy is directed toward things that bring growth and impact. She is not easily swayed by temporary emotions or fleeting desires. She knows where she is going, and she does not allow anything or anyone to pull her off course. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She values her time and invests it wisely, choosing relationships, conversations, and activities that align with her vision. A woman of purpose does not depend on a man to give her life meaning. She understands that love should complement her journey, not define it. She does not put her dreams on hold for anyone who does not support them. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. She attracts the right kind of people because her passion, confidence, and drive make her stand out. She does not beg for a seat at the table. She builds her own. She carries herself with a sense of mission. She is constantly learning, growing, and evolving into the best version of herself. She refuses to live in fear or self-doubt because she knows she was created with greatness inside her. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace.
She doesn't wait for permission to shine, she chooses to rise. She steps into her calling with boldness, knowing that purpose attracts respect. She's treated like a queen not because she demands it, but because she lives it. A queen isn't defined by others' opinions, she's crowned by how she carries herself, the standards she sets, and the mission she walks with daily. The way you treat yourself writes the script for every relationship in your life. When you walk like a queen with self-respect, calm power, and unwavering grace, the world responds. If you want to be treated like royalty, start by honoring yourself deeply. Know your worth so firmly that no one can make you question it. Set your standards high not as a test for others, but as a reflection of your own value. Carry yourself with confidence, knowing that you are already whole. Grow your inner strength so deeply rooted that no storm can shake it. Because the way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction. When you walk like a queen, the world rises to meet your grace. Embrace your femininity as a force is soft yet unbreakable. Never settle for less than you deserve, because what you allow becomes what you live. Live with clear intention and unstoppable vision, because a woman anchored in purpose will always command respect. You don't need to chase love, validation, or attention. The right people will see your light because you are the light. Queens do not beg, they lead, they uplift, they inspire. Hold your head high, trust your path, and walk in the fullness of who you are, because the way you treat yourself sets the tone for every interaction, and when you walk like a queen, the world has to rise to meet your grace. Thank you for your presence and your openness in receiving this message. We invite you to take one more powerful step. OT. Subscribe to Stoic today, click the link, and keep walking this path of wisdom, wealth, fulfillment, and lasting self-respect. Your reign begins the moment you believe it does. Start now.